On differences between chronic restrictive pulmonary disease and chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. These are the second largest group of diffuse lung diseases, that is chronic restrictive pulmonary diseases. This is characterized by reduced expansion of lung parenchyma with decreased total lung capacity. This group has to be distinguished from foregoing COPDs. Restriction due to chest wall disorder. This can be because of abnormalities in the chest wall, pleura and neuromuscular apparatus, that is kyphoscoliosis, poliomyelitis, severe obesity and pleural diseases. Restriction due to interstitial and infiltrative diseases commonly involves interstitial lung diseases. So interstitial lung diseases are characterized by non-infectious diffuse parenchymal involvement of the lung, that is alveolar lumina and alveolar epithelium, capillary basement membrane and intervening space and perivascular tissue and lymphatic tissue. The major common clinical manifestation of restrictive lung diseases are exertional dyspnea, non-persistent productive cough, tachypnea, cyanosis and sometimes hemoptysis, but wheeze is characteristically absent, which is characteristically present in COPD. What are the differences between obstructive and restrictive lung diseases? In obstructive lung diseases, obstruction can occur at any level from trachea to respiratory bronchiole. Pulmonary function tests show increased pulmonary resistance and obstruction to maximal expiratory airflow. Chest X-ray shows variable degree depending upon the cause. Examples for obstructive lung disease are chronic bronchitis, emphysema, bronchial asthma and bronchiectasis. Restrictive lung diseases are restriction to the expansion of the lung parenchyma, pulmonary function test and decreased total lung capacity. Chest X-ray shows typical bilateral infiltrates giving ground glass shadows. Examples here are chest cage disorders, that is kyphoscoliosis, poliomyelitis, etc. Interstitial lung diseases including pneumoconiosis, idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis and immunological lung diseases, collagen vascular diseases and sarcoidosis. In interstitial lung diseases, we have with predominant fibrosis, with predominant granulomatous reaction and immunological lung diseases and smoking associated interstitial lung diseases. With predominant fibrosis, we have pneumoconiosis with inorganic minerals, idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis, etc. With predominant granulomatous reaction, we have sarcoidosis, pneumoconiosis, and granulomatous vasculitis, vaginous granulomatosis. Immunological lung diseases are hypersensitivity pneumonitis, pulmonary infiltrates of the eosinophilia, pulmonary hemorrhagic syndromes, and pulmonary alveolar proteinosis. Smoking associated or discriminative interstitial lung pneumonia, respiratory bronchiolitis associated diseases. Coming to pleural effusion. Pleural effusion is an abnormal collection of the fluid in the pleural space resulting from excess fluid production or decreased absorption or both. It is most common manifestation of pleural disease. Hemothorax is blood in the pleural space. Chylothorax is chyle in the pleural space. Empyema is pus in the pleural space. So following mechanism play an important role in formation of pleural effusion, that is reduction in the intravascular oncotic pressure, seen in hypoalbuminemia, increased capillary permeability or vascular disruption seen in trauma and malignancy, increased capillary hydrostatic pressure in systemic or the pulmonary circulation, congestive heart failure, reduction of the pressure in the pleural space, preventing full lung expansion or trapped lung, decreased lymphatic drainage or the complete blockade including thoracic duct obstruction or the rupture. Increased peritoneal fluid with migration across the diaphragm via the lymphatics or the structural defect, cirrhosis and peritoneal dialysis. Movement of the fluid from the pulmonary edema across the visceral pleura, altered permeability of the pleural membranes. Example in inflammation and malignancy. Pleural effusions are of two types, transudate and exudate. Transudate is a result of imbalance in the oncotic and the hydrostatic pressure, whereas exudate is because of inflammation of the pleura and decreased lymphatic drainage. Transudate causes are congestive heart failure, cirrhosis, atelectasis, hypoalbuminemia, nephrotic syndrome, mixed edema, and constrictive pericarditis. Exudate causes include tuberculosis, parapneumonic pneumonia, malignancies like lymphoma and breast cancers, pulmonary embolism, collagen vascular conditions like rheumatoid arthritis, systemic lupus erythematosus, and pancreatitis. Trauma, esophageal perforation, radiation pleuritis, sarcoidosis, fungal infection, intra-abdominal abscess, Meeks syndrome, etc. are other causes. Drug-induced ones are isoniazid, procainamide, hydralazine, quinidine, nitrofurantoin, and methotrexate. The clinical manifestation of pleural effusion include dyspnea, cough, chest pain. Additional symptoms like night sweats, fever, hemoptysis, weight loss suggest of tuberculosis. Increased lower extremity edema, orthopnea, and paroxysmal nocturnal dyspnea may suggest of congestive heart failure. Investigations for this pleural effusion include chest radiograph, ultrasonography, diagnostic aspiration, and additional tests. This is a picture of pleural effusion where it shows bilateral pleural effusion, X-ray picture of and bilateral costophrenic angles. So this is the X-ray picture. Diagnostic thoracentesis is another important investigation which can be done, wherein ultrasound guided effusion, if it is not clear, then ultrasound guided thoracocentesis will be done. The relative contraindications for this is small amount of volume of the fluid, bleeding diastasis, mechanical ventilation, and cutaneous disease over the proposed puncture site. The complications of this procedure include pain at the site, cutaneous or the internal bleeding or laceration, pneumothorax, empyema, re-expansion, pulmonary edema. Pneumothorax is nothing but collection of air in the pleural cavity. In addition, significant chronic obstructive or fibrotic lung diseases increases the risk of symptomatic pneumothorax, complicating the thoracocentesis. When the pleural fluid is taken, it should be analyzed as follows. First, it should be distinguished it from exudate and transudate. This can be done if the fluid is considered as exudate if the following features are found. That is, ratio of pleural fluid to serum protein is greater than 0.5. Ratio of pleural fluid to serum LDH is greater than 0.6. Pleural fluid LDH is greater than 2/3 of the upper limits of the normal serum value. The fluid is considered to be transudate if all the above are absent. That is, pleural LDH greater than 0.45 of the upper limit of the normal serum values. Pleural fluid cholesterol level greater than 45 mg per deciliter. Pleural fluid protein levels greater than 2.9 grams per deciliter. Pleural fluid considered exudate if the protein content is more than 35 grams per liter, and transudate if it is less than 25 grams per liter. Laboratory differences between transudate and exudate. Transudate appearance will be clear. Fluids to serum protein ratio is less than 0.5. Fluid to serum LDH is less than 0.6. Then white blood cell count less than 1000 per microliter. Spontaneous clotting doesn't occur. Pleural fluid cholesterol is less than 45 to 60 mg per deciliter. Pleural fluid serum cholesterol ratio is less than 0.3. Pleural fluid bilirubin ratio is less than 0.6. Serum ascites albumin gradient is more than 0.1. Exudate is usually appearance is cloudy. Fluid to serum protein ratio is more than 0.5. Fluid to serum LD ratio is more than 0.6. White blood cell count is more than 1000 per microliter. Spontaneous clotting is possible. Pleural fluid cholesterol is more than 45 to 60 mg per deciliter. Pleural fluid serum cholesterol ratio is more than 0.3. Pleural fluid to bilirubin ratio is more than 0.6. Serum ascites albumin gradient is less than 0.1. The usual causes I have discussed earlier. This is just a revision of the transudate and exudate differences. So protein LDH levels are very important. Common causes for transudate are cardiac failure and nephrotic syndrome and hepatic cirrhosis. Common causes for exudate are bacterial pneumonia, carcinoma, and mesothelioma. Unusual causes for exudate are TB, pneumothorax, pancreatitis, subphrenic abscess, autoimmune disease, etc. Thank you.